Hello, this is Mr. Tolbert, Mr. Tolbert's class. And on this particular assignment, folks, all you're going to do is be taking some notes. So hopefully you found this assignment in Schoology or wherever it may be for this particular class. And you're just going to take notes about what you need to do when you're trying to read a science textbook. So this is the ABCs of reading a science text. You ever find yourself overwhelmed while you're reading a science text? Is science sometimes maybe a science textbook intimidating? So before reading, don't just begin at the very first paragraph. Think about what you already know about whatever it is you're covering. Remember, it's science, so it is related to your life. You might want to make some predictions and maybe make a plan for finding out. What I typically do, folks, is most of the time, if I have you read, I'll have you answer some type of questions. So, looking at the questions that you're going to answer, looking at the questions that you're going to answer before you read the stuff is important because it allows you to um, get ready to answer those questions. So let's set a purpose. The setting the purpose is usually to answer some questions. Turn the title, if you don't have one, into a question. Look to see at the first page there's a list of objectives and or goals. Set your purpose based on headings, key terms listed on the first page. Review. So what you're going to do then is just scan through that information that's from your book or whatever information you're looking for. Get an idea of what you're going to be reading before you're going to begin. So right now you've probably asked some questions, maybe made a prediction, scanned through it, and you might have scanned through it and actually started to find the answers that you're looking for. Here's the preview guide. Title, first and last paragraph of the chapter, headings, any words that are in bold. This is very important. If they're bold or underlined or a different color, those are important words. Most likely they're your vocabulary or a definition to the vocabulary that we use. Anything that's boxed, photos and charts. Remember in science, there's always charts, photos, pictures that you can use. List of objectives. Make a plan. Stop and think about what you've learned in your preview. Make a list that includes what you've learned from the bold-faced words, headings, photos, captions, first and last paragraphs. You might also try outlining. I typically outline when I'm about to get ready for a test. So this particular structure I kind of use I try to outline a section or a chapter of the book just to get my information that I know in an organized fashion. During your reading, read with a purpose, have your strategy, go back and read that section. Turning the headlines into questions or possibilities, things that you're looking for is important. If you are making an outline, you'll go back and fill in the sub-levels that you already have, and you can give that a try. If it's an outline, it might look like this. This is an example of chapter 1, and we'll be doing chapter 1 after we do chapter 3. Next, this is probably the most important part. You try to find these connections between your life and what you're reading. I'll always ask you, Mr. Tobert asks you to give examples as it is in your life. And after reading, sit back and try to recall what you've read. Make sure you've filled out anything that you need to fill out. If it's an outline, you've completed the outline and reflect on what's to be expected. Did I accomplish out what I started at the beginning, middle, and the end? Do I know the main topics? Do I know what are the main questions? Any questions that are posed in a section of this book is something that your book and it's going to be a test question, most likely. Do I understand the material, how it's organized? Do I feel comfortable with taking a test on this information? And if you don't, go back. Always go back and you can reread. Sometimes I take those vocabulary words and I make study cards or anything else that I might need to use. Thank you for your attention.